Alright, we're going to talk about the setup first, okay? It's not a bad setup. You can start whatever way you want, alright? We want the knees inside of the feet, shoulders inside the knees. You're a little short, okay, which is fine. The big thing is we got to make sure we get to a good load and stride part, okay? Faces in front of the belly button. Alright, going into the stride. Let's see what we got here. Here's the big thing too, going back to this with an open stance, right? And you see how your hips are a little bit opened already? We got to make sure we close our hips off. Okay, not overstriding, but getting to where we're striding towards the pitcher, we're level, we're even, being able to close the hips up. Okay, so we're gonna look and see when we get to load and stride. Toes open, which is fine, right? But did the hips close up all the way? No, right? It looks like they're still a little bit open. So generally, when our hips are open and our front knees out like that, right? If we take Pujols to his point. We get to open. See how his hips are closed and then his knees inside still? Right there. Yours is already kind of turning out. And you're up to your toe, right? The higher my toes up in the air, before I can do anything, my heel's got to hit, right? So the higher my heel's in the air, the more room I have for air. Okay? So let's see what happens by the time that heel hits. You see how everything's starting to open up? Okay? So has anything happened with him on his heel? You see how your shoulders already flying out, and the hips are already going, and the knees already kind of out, and he hasn't done anything yet, right? And then now, what we want, as you can see here, is we have a slight tilt with the shoulders down. Your shoulders are going up, right? So the first thing that's going to happen is our hands are going to go down, right? Okay. So what we can see from there is what happened. Heel hits. Start going down. Now if we keep going, barrel drops below the hands, right? So now the only thing we can do is hit up on the ball, right? Which if we're hitting a baseball, we want to hit that top inside part of the ball right there to create backspin. Okay? So work the hands forward and down a little bit more. Now after contact, extension's not bad, but do you see how it's kind of pulling right off? Right off from the start. And if we get a guy like Jim Edmonds, okay, there he is. Watch it contact. How far before he starts rolling those wrists. If we go here, contact, extension, 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 extension. Now he starts rolling the wrists. See how long it takes him? And how you're going just contact, off, to the side. You know what I mean by that? Okay, now we're going to get into some big boy stuff, right? If we're talking about we want to hit a ball really hard, right? And we're thinking if we're going to punch a guy in the face, okay, what's our backside going to do? It needs to turn and it needs to go towards the hitter, right? If we're going at contact with your swing, look at your back leg. You see how nothing's really happening too much? And it just kind of stops there and you start going backwards. So if I'm trying to hit a ball as hard as I can that way, and this doesn't do anything, and I kind of just sit back a little bit, okay, ball's not going to be hit as hard. Now if you take a guy like Sheffield, watch his back foot. Starts here. That's okay, watch where it gets to. See that front knee, that back knee? Guy's foot's moving up about 8 inches into the ball. Okay, watch it again. That back knee is going straight into that ball. So you think he's got a little bit more force? Right? So think of taking that back knee all the way into the ball. And I promise you, and it's going a little bit, right? But if we really throw that knee, see how it just kind of stops and it gets lazy. If we really take this back knee into the ball, you'll feel your foot come off the ground and it'll move. 95% of big leaguers' back foot's off the ground during contact. See, he doesn't do a whole lot either, but he's also 6'4", 250. You know what I mean? Okay, Manny Ramirez. That back foot's coming off the ground and moving a little bit. You know what I mean? You can pull off a bunch of guys, and you can see this back foot gets going. Mike Sweeney's a big time guy. Watch this one. This one's cool. Whoop. See how high off the ground that is? And that's just transferring weight into the ball. This is a bomb. This is a bomb, by the way. Watch where he hits this ball. See how far it moves forward? Right? Into the ball. Directional, not around it. Directional into the ball. I've never seen this swing before. And then you look at all of them. When they get to that good loaded position, see that even or slight tilt. Hands going into the ball, into the ball, into the ball. Oh, wrong way. Boom. All the way up to the toe. See how it moves a little bit? A little bit forward. And you can really think of just getting all the way up to that toe. Okay? Got any questions?
Is it bad to have your front foot open? Or?
No, you want it open. Look at this guy's front foot.
Okay.
They're all open, right? But you got to make sure that you keep your knee and your hip tucked in, right? Even. See, he's open. He's an open hitting guy. Toes open, but his hips are still facing the pitcher. You can't let your hips leak. You know what I mean? You see how that knee's still inside the foot? I think we don't want it to start turning open too early. You know what I mean?
Yes, Coach.
Let's see. Make sense to you?
Yep.
Any questions?
Nope.
See, the hips are closed, knees still tucked in, foot's open just a little bit.